Hi, everyone. Today I'll be introducing you to a creative scientist, and his name is Leonardo da Vinci. I'm sure you've heard of him before, so let's just get to it. These are the four topics that we'll be exploring today. The first one is, who is Leonardo da Vinci? And then the second one is, why is Leonardo da Vinci a scientist? Why am I calling him a scientist? I'm sure you guys know him better as an artist, right? And the third topic is, then if I'm calling him a scientist, then does he have any scientific achievements? And if so, what are they? And lastly, we'll be connecting Leonardo da Vinci to your unit of inquiry, how we express ourselves. So, who is this guy? Well, he was born in 1452 and he died in 1519. So he lived a pretty long life back then. He's Italian, and he was born in the period called the Renaissance. And the Renaissance was the period of revival of art, literature, and learning. And what this basically means is it's when people started to have interest in art, literature, and just about learning new content and learning new skills. He's best known for the following two paintings, Mona Lisa and The Last Supper, which is probably why you guys know him better as an artist, because these two paintings are so famous. Then, if he's so famous as an artist, why am I calling him as a scientist? To be more precise, he's not actually completely like just a scientist. He's someone called a polymath, and that's a really big word, right? I've also heard this word for the first time as I was researching about Da Vinci. And so basically what a polymath does is a polymath is a person that has a lot of knowledge in so many different fields. Like he or she might be really knowledgeable in English, math, science, in the arts, music, and so many different fields. And in the case of Da Vinci, he was mainly an artist and a scientist. And so, specifically, as an artist, he was also an architect, sculptor, and a painter. And then the main topic of the video, him being a scientist, he was specifically an astronomer, an anatomist, and an engineer. So then, if he was a scientist, what did he study? So these are his two areas of scientific study. The first one is the human anatomy. And basically what the human anatomy is it's the structure of our body, of the human body. So the skeletal structure, the muscular structure, how our bodies move, how our bodies function. And so it's basically a study about that. And then his second area was mechanics. And I'm sure you guys are more familiar with mechanics because this is all about machines, inventing new machines, engineering. And so he was active in these two areas. Then, what were some of his most famous scientific achievements? So in the area of anatomical studies, he has two major accomplishments. And the first one is his study about the human fetus. And basically, what the human fetus is how we look before we're born. And so you can see that this is a really small baby, and this is supposed to be the mother's womb. And so he visualized what we look like before we're even born. And then this is one of his other famous paintings called the Vitruvian Man. And this shows that when a man has his arms straight out towards the outside, then it fills a square as shown here. But then when he has them apart, in an angle slightly, then he makes a circle. And then in mechanics and engineering, he made something called the ornithopter. And so this is basically the start of gliders, of helicopters, of planes. And so he started to visualize what birds did when they fly. And he made his own invention that simulated or imitated the bird's act of flying. And then he's also known to have visualized the parachute for the first time. And he's done this with other scientists as well. And going back to the anatomical studies, he's also known to have performed dissections of the human body, which is why he can be so knowledgeable in this area. And finally, let's try to connect this back to your unit of inquiry of how we express ourselves. So looking here at your lines of inquiry, Leonardo da Vinci was essentially an artist, but then he became a scientist because his interests were in the human body. As he drew paintings, he naturally started to inquire about what the human body looks like, how it functions. And so that's why he applied the creative manner of science to take action and to research about the human body. And that's how he used science to study about the human body and the human anatomy. And he also used his creative mind to make inventions like the ornithopter or the parachute. And so we can see here that Da Vinci was a polymath, a person who's really talented in different areas because he was so curious in different areas, and he had to express himself, express his curiosity and inquiry in different areas. So that's my introduction of Leonardo da Vinci. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned that he is a scientist. I hope that was new to you. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email me at the following email address. Thanks for watching.